I have a question for you. If I am working out, but because my weight just keeps going up and up and up, and I realize I am not as good at eating the protein that I'm supposed to eat and all that stuff that you tell us to do.
Hmm.
But if I am working out, is it true that maybe some of this weight gain is muscle? Possibly.
This is what I want everybody to do. This is what I do with every single one of my one on one clients. If you have a scale in your house, take the batteries out of it, put it up in the closet, or throw the darn thing away. The scale does an excellent job of telling you how many carbs you had the day before, therefore, how much water you're retaining. We have ladies on here. This is just a fact of it. It tells you a real good job of how much water you're retaining at a certain time of the month. If you do not have a complete and total understanding of the entire system and how it works, that scale is a god awful thing to go by. What I want everybody to do is go get you a cloth tape measure like you would use if you were doing seamstress work. And for guys, you take one measurement at your waist being at your belly button, not where your pants sit, but do a measurement at your belly button once a week. For women, you take two measurements. You take one right at your belly button, and you take one at the widest point of your hips. Write those numbers down once a week. What you're looking for is for those numbers to go down. I don't care how much you weigh. I'm going to give you mine as an example. Okay? Right now, the way that I measure mine, I measure it two different ways, average them out. I think right now is just pretty close. I'm sitting at right around 14.5% body fat. I want it to be lower. I'm working on it being lower, but I'm about 14.5% right now. If you go by weight and height, like they do at the doctor's office, that's where they come up with that BMI number, body mass index. You look at my body mass index, and I am borderline between overweight and obese, sitting under 15% body fat. What you really want to go by is what's called the Adonis ratio. And where this comes from, to this day, what is considered the perfect human form is still the Greek statues, the statue of David, stuff like that. That's still considered, after all these years, still what the perfect body looks like. And every one of those has this one thing in common. They all have the same thing in common. The waist is one half of the height of the statue. For women, you have to adjust that just a little bit because some women like to store fat in their hips instead of their stomach, and some store it in their stomach instead of their hips. So that's why we take both numbers there. And it's not just a cut and dry one half of height. There's a ratio type thing. If you send me those numbers you're getting, I'll tell you how close to that ratio you are. Because what it boils down to is when I started, I weighed 278 pounds. I would be tickled to death to wake up tomorrow morning weighing 278 pounds again if I could do it at 12% body fat. Weight itself does not matter. It is the measurements and the ratio of how you are carrying that weight. A pound of muscle takes up half as much room as a pound of fat does, especially when you first get started. When you're at the beginning of your journey, you're going to do what's called a recomp. You're going to actually be able, it is the most wonderful time of your entire journey in fitness because you're going to be able to lose fat and build muscle at the exact same time. Everybody does. So you could lose 5 pounds of fat, you could gain 5 pounds of muscle. That scale is not going to move whatsoever, and you're going to be what is essentially 2.5 pounds smaller than you were before you started. Going by the scale is one of the absolute worst things you could do. It's just going to lead to you getting discouraged, and it is not going to tell you what's happening inside your body. Because I've actually had clients, I had one, oh gosh almighty, but I told her she had to stay off scale. Stay off the scale. We were doing a reverse diet, and I told her to stay off the scale. I told her we were going to go by measurements, and she called one day absolutely having an absolute crap fit because she had gained 0.5 pound. And I'm like, how do you know? I told you to stay off the scale. How do you know you gained 0.5 pound? And she's throwing a fit, and I said, I'm looking at your measurements here. Have you had to go buy new pants yet? Well, yeah, I had to buy pants. All of my pants were too big, but that's besides the point. I gained 0.5 pound. You're missing the point of what's going on here. You dropped a pant size in a reverse diet, eating more. And you want to get upset over the scale saying that you're a 0.5 pound heavier?
All right, thank you.
That is my soapbox. And I'm sorry if I got a little bit heated there, but so many people want to go by the scale, and it is horrible. Keep in mind, there are studies out now of people who are using the GLP-1s that have lost 60 to 80 pounds on the scale, and after they lose that weight, their body fat percentage is actually higher because what they lost was muscle mass. They are not in better shape. They are not healthier, regardless of what the scale's saying.
All right, I will throw away my scale.
I know it's a hard thing, and that's why I get a little bit passionate when I talk about it. Because, if you're my age and, you're in your 50s, you remember the Slim Fast commercials and Jane Fonda workouts and all this stuff, and everything was about the scale. How much do you weigh? How much do you weigh? I think I put it in this group, but I have a picture side by side of a woman that weighs 150 pounds at 40% body fat and one that weighs 150 pounds at 25% body fat. And at the exact same weight, the one that is 40% body fat looks twice as big as the one that's 25% body fat. And they weigh the same. I'll double check. If I haven't got, if it wasn't in this group, which I think it was, but if it wasn't, I'll go back and I'll post it in this group so y'all can see it. But it is absolutely amazing. It depends on what that weight is made up of. Not to mention the fact that the woman at 25% body fat is going to have tremendously better health markers as far as your blood work and everything else than the lady at 40% body fat.
Yes, that makes sense.
Remember, the ultimate goal of what we're working on here is not, and I turn clients down. Clients come to me and go like, hey, I want to hire you to be my coach. Okay, what are your goals? Well, I need to lose 10 pounds because we got a vacation coming up and we're going to the beach. And I want you to give me a GLP-1. I want it. No, I'm the wrong coach for you. Go find somebody else. Our goal's not just to make the scale drop and to look better. Our goal is that when we're 85 years old, we're able to get up out of the chair on our own. We're able to reach up over our head and get something out of the cabinet. It's about being healthy. It's not about what a scale says.
That's very true. That is the ultimate goal. Still being upright when I'm 85.
One of my favorite memes ever, I saw it, I saved it, I send it to people all the time. It's better to be the oldest guy in the gym than the youngest guy in the nursing home. That's the goal of what we're trying to do.